Long before the NFL admitted that football causes brain damage, players were already suffering and dying. In today's episode, we follow 3 former NFL players, 2 dead, and 1 league that looked the other way. It's the third quarter of a tight game between the Jets and the Giants on November 2nd, 2003. Jets wide receiver Wayne Chrebet takes a knee to the back of the head and is knocked out cold. On the sideline, the Jets team doctor and head of the NFL's Mild Traumatic Brain Injury Committee, Dr. Elliot Pelman, begins concussion protocol. According to an ESPN report, Pelman knows that Chrebet is concussed, but he's performing well enough to squeak by on standard memory tests. Pelman looks at Chrebet and said, "This is very important for your career. Are you okay?" Chrebet replied, "I'm fine." Pelman sent him back in the game. For days after the game, Chrebet complained of headaches and exhaustion. He was diagnosed with post-concussion syndrome, ending his 2003 season. 2 years later, on November 6, 2005, the Jets were playing against the Chargers. Chrebet caught a pass and got drilled. His head ricocheted off the turf. He was knocked unconscious once again. This was believed to be his 9th concussion. He staggered off the field. In the locker room, he needed help untying his shoes and taking off his pads. He could barely lift his jersey over his head. Chrebet never played another NFL game. He was placed on injured reserve. A doctor warned him another concussion would likely cause permanent brain damage. Months later, Chrebet retired on June 2, 2006, ending his 11-year career. Chrebet didn't crash and burn like other players. He faded out quietly. That's how the league preferred it. But other former players weren't so lucky. Justin Strzelczyk was an offensive tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers from 1990 to 1999. He was the goofy friend, loving father and husband, and hardworking teammate. Over time, he became violent, paranoid, unpredictable. He hallucinated his dead father. He called Pittsburghers evil ones. The city he once loved and repped was now full of threats. He vanished for weeks on end, reappearing filthy and unkempt with no explanation for his whereabouts. By 2001, his wife left him, fearing for her and their children's safety. September 30th, 2004 was the breaking point. Strzelczyk was involved in a hit and run while driving to a fundraiser in New York. When police tried to stop him, he led them on a 90-mile-per-hour chase, throwing beer bottles out the window and making obscene gestures at the officers. Even after 3 of his tires were shredded by stop sticks, the chase continued for 15 miles. Then he crossed the median, driving into oncoming traffic and slamming into a tanker truck. The collision caused a fiery explosion, and Strzelczyk was killed instantly. Dr. Malo later examined his brain and found CTE. His paranoia, erratic behavior, and aggression were all consistent with the disease. It wasn't drugs or alcohol that killed Strzelczyk. It was football. Terry Long used to flatten 300-pound linemen as a guard for the Steelers in the 80s. In the end, he couldn't escape an unpaid stack of bills and something much darker. In 2003, a fire tore through his chicken processing plant. The same day, he filed for bankruptcy, and investigators immediately cried foul. Detectives quickly determined that the fire was intentional, a desperate attempt to escape financial ruin. In March 2005, Long was indicted on arson charges. The spiral didn't stop there. Long was hit with fraud charges tied to state loans. His house was in foreclosure. On June 7, 2005, Long drank a gallon of antifreeze. His death was ruled a suicide. He left no note, just pain, confusion, and questions that no one could answer. That was until Amalo studied his brain. The diagnosis was tragically familiar. He had CTE. The NFL knew about the dangers of concussions long before Chrebet, Strzelczyk, and Long. But instead of protecting their players, they protected their bottom line. In the next episode, Dr. Amalo drops the CTE bomb, and the NFL tries to destroy his credibility. Then, a Harvard football player turned WWE wrestler joins the fight, and together they take on the most powerful sports league in the world. Like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And don't miss the next episode of Blood, Brains, and Glory.